Hello, good evening and welcome to my humble model railway. It's Wednesday night, the 13th of October 2021. Okay, about 8:15, give or take a bit. Now, tonight we're going to be looking at a locomotive that's just arrived in the post today. Now, it's all I've done with it so far is I gave it a quick test to check it ran. And I've given, just to make sure, I gave it just a little light oiling on its cogs and stuff. So we got ourselves a nice little runner now, okay, in my opinion. And before we sort of reveal it all, okay, we'll just show you what we've actually got box wise. Now I usually make a point of getting a box version of everything if I can. I know box isn't important to everybody, but important to me. So what we're looking at tonight, and that done there, is our 2210 BR060 Dean Goods Locomotive 2579, and it's by Hornby. Okay, Hornby, there it is, and we'll talk a little bit about it in just a minute. Even on the illustration, something you can't get away from, okay, is its mainline origins. Okay, me personally, I don't mind. Okay, it's a model from that originated from quite a way back. Okay, you can see on the back of the tender, you can see a couple of cogs coming out from underneath there. Something you just can't get away from on this model. Now it's tender powered. I know a lot of people don't like tender powered models, but personally, as long as they run properly, I'm not that fussy, to be truthful with you. Okay, and just to show, our 2210 there, 13th of February 2001. So we are talking about a locomotive that's over 20 years old, okay, by Hornby. Now I think its origins came from mainline. I do believe the mainline version is very, very similar to this. But without any further ado, we'll drive her out. So it's Dean Goods, so it's taking pride of place in the goods shed. And as you see, running out lovely, absolutely fine. And we'll have a better look at her quite shortly. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to put her into 4 gear, just changing the points. We'll let her run around for a bit and we'll talk about the Dean Goods for a while. And why I bought this Hornby, okay? Right now, you can hear us a little bit more noisier than, say, for example, the model which was offered by Oxford Rail. And also, you'll notice that there's a the coal load in the tender is stacked quite high, and that's because it's accommodating a Ringford motor. And I know a lot of you, a lot of people sort of speak out against a Ringford motor. They don't like them, they want to replace them, all kinds of stuff like that. But in my humble opinion, the Ringford motor is not too bad. Now what the Ringford motor allows me to do, over and above a lot of other locomotives, you can reassemble the motor brushes. Again, just take the tender top off and there's your brushes and springs there, look. And I believe you can still get the brushes and springs with these, which is a good thing. I consider it's been run out of the box. I don't know how long this locomotive's been out of use for. It's not doing too badly. I've not cleaned the pickups or anything like that, or the wheels. Something I might do. I've not even looked to check the condition of the traction tyres, to be honest with you. I wanted in the first instance to make sure this one actually ran. Now it's in BR black with the BR early crest. Just whizzing around the track there now. Seems to be slightly faltering on points at the moment. It's getting over them alright, but it seems to be slightly faltering. Now it could be either it's dragging itself over the point, or there is a slight, there's no problem with that one, but it seems like my pico point over in the far corner is actually the one that's giving a lot of trouble to a lot of locomotives these days. And I think it's time maybe, yeah, I have to replace it. I don't think it's losing electrical contact. I think it's just simply cashing on something in the point. When it goes through that pico point over there. The pico points are at least 20 years old, I believe. Okay, something around about. So it's got to be. We're getting over somewhere between 15 and 20. I know it's at least 20, but those pico points I'm thinking of replacing it some time or another. Now I was putting a nice little train here for Dean Goods. Now the Dean Goods lasted quite a long time. I think they came out in the 80s. William Dean was the chief mechanical engineer for about the 1870s up until about 1901, when Churchward actually became the chief mechanical engineer. And I think William Dean had to step into the shoes of Armstrong, who passed away unexpectedly. Armstrong was a predecessor to Dean. And then Dean was succeeded by George Jackson Churchward. Churchward was succeeded by Charles Benjamin Collett. And then the very, very last chief mechanical engineer of the Great Western Railway was Frederick William Hawksworth, who was locomotive engineer from 1941 to just after nationalisation. I think he went in about 1948. Okay, so I do own an Oxford Rail locomotive, okay, and I think some of you may have seen my motor rants about the county class by Hornby, which suddenly stopped working after a derailment, and I thought it might have been the motor. It wasn't, okay, and I've talked about it in other videos, so I got that going again. I still can't work out how it is going, but it is going, and I love it, okay. But you'd think lightning couldn't strike twice, could you? But I had my Oxford Rail Dean Goods out the other night, and suddenly it started to grumble and run slowly. I thought, well, it probably just wants cleaning up or something, but no. It grumbled and grumbled and ran to a halt, ground to a halt, and now it's dead. Unfortunately. I've tried various things. I mean, obviously, when I found out about it wasn't the motor on the Hornby 440 county, but I managed to find out it wasn't the motor because I just connected two terminals from the controller directly to the motor, and it ran. Okay, the motor actually started spinning over. So I knew it couldn't be the motor, actually something to do with the contacts. But I do believe that on the actual Dean Goods, I might be right in this instance. That is probably the motor that's failed. I've tried connecting up terminals to it, and there's no life there. So my Oxford Rail is now temporarily defunct until I can get it going again. But and this is what led me to buy this Hornby one. I was always quite curious. I've got to be honest with you. You know when there's this sort of things where you've got to try it for yourself and you want to find out. You know, I mean, you might find some people saying, good things. You might find some people saying bad things, but you want to find out for yourself. Now, what I do like about this particular model is that it feels quite durable out of the box. Yes, it's tender driven, and you can hear that mechanism going away, can't you? That's even after oiling, but it's running quite well, in my opinion. Quite a nice little loco. It's not got a detailed cab the same as the Oxford Rail version. I mean, back in the day, you didn't get the detailed cabs anyway. Not like you've got now, not the entirely detailed cabs. Certainly not on a locomotive like this. And but the actual look of the model, I think is apart from the fact you've got the cogs you can see in the front of the tender. Looks wise, I think the body on the actual loco and everything is at least the equal of the Oxford Rail version. Some people might agree, some might disagree. But I'm quite happy with this Hornby version. Like I say, I do believe it's a development of the mainline one. Now, I do believe that Hornby have taken over Oxford Rail, so it might be that they might come out with their own version of it, which I'd like to see a new version of from Hornby. Now, bear in mind this locomotive is 20 years old, okay, and it appears to be going around the track. It is running better and better and better. It was actually staggering on that point over there, sort of like stuttering, but now it's not stuttering on that point, and it's getting over the other point after a little. It kind of stutters just ever so slightly on one of the points as well, so I'm going to give the wheels a good clean, see if I can remedy that. But a 20-year-old locomotive. Now, my Oxford Rail one, I think it's not much more than a year old. Okay, so I bought it during the lockdown, so it must be the 2020 purchase. And it's just totally dead. And yet you've got this locomotive here, 20 years old, and it's going on the track as sweet as a nut. Now what we're going to do is we're going to run her in a minute and just watch her go over points. And also, we're going to see if we can uncouple her. I've lost my uncoupler. I had one of these manual uncouplers. They look similar to like a kind of a spade device, and it's gone. I don't know what I've done with it. I put it somewhere safe, as always. I have no idea where it is now. We're going to try and have a closer look at this this Hornby model. Well, I know probably it's only little kids do this, but we're going to let's see what you can really do, eh? Probably doing it at scale speed like 250 miles per hour now, maybe, I don't know. But going along lovely. So you can probably hear it, hear that motor going and all the gears going on this. But a lot of the mainline locomotives actually sounded like this, and of course Hornby's given it its heritage. You know, Hornby have taken over this model by the look of things. This is definitely the Hornby one. Yeah, I reckon it's okay. You can see one at the right price is worth picking up, I think. I'm not going to tell how much I paid for this one, okay? Or I might do in a minute. 50 quid. About 50 quid, about £50 I paid. It was the one I wanted. They seem to be like the average price for good box ones, by the look of it. It was described as a runner. Okay, I always kind of shy away now from anything that's not described as a runner. I know that people say, oh, we get them home, you can get them going again. But sometimes you find the non-runners not going. There's something more than, it needs more than a bit of TLC. Okay, this is running fine. Got no problems with this, and it runs in forward and in reverse quite well as well. Now you can buy a kind of a bearing grease, which I've actually got, sort of like gear grease, and I might see what it's like with a bit of gear grease on it, because I use it on my other locomotives, and they do run quite quietly. And when you have a look at a new Hornby, you take one of those apart. Yeah, they are putting grease on the cogs now. Or at least mine had grease on the cogs. Okay, so we're putting sacks of salt. Yeah, we all like salt on our fish and chips, don't we? And I do anyway. Bit naughty really, but there you go. We've got the beer wagon as always, my ever-present beer wagon with wanting this beer on it. We've got 5 bananas. Yeah, we can. Some of us can remember seeing videos of the docks at Avonmouth and in Bristol where they're bringing in bananas. Quite a treat, the banana, after the Second World War. There was a song called Yes We Have No Bananas. We have no bananas today. So it must have been quite a treat for bananas to eventually come back into Britain, become available. Behind it is a China clay wagon. Now China clay finds its way into all sorts of things. In one of the videos, Great British Railway Journeys, that's presented by Michael Portillo. He actually visits a China clay pit, and it's surprising what products China clay gets into. And in fact, one of the biggest consumers of China clay, you'd think it was China for like cups and saucers, is actually paper. China clay goes into paper. Now behind it is a Royal Daylight oil tank wagon, and then behind it is the GWR tow brake van. Okay, so that's our little train that we got running tonight behind our wonderful little Hornby there. Yeah, I'm pleased. Yeah, I'm quite pleased. Now, one thing I would say about this, you're talking about a 20-odd-year-old locomotive, okay, or 20-year-old, 2001, it's 2021, so 20. Nothing has fallen off of it. Okay. It's got moulded on darts, okay, which a lot of the locomotives of that era did. And in fact, my Hornby Railroad county's got moulded on darts. And in fact, all three locomotives we've got on the railway tonight have got moulded on smoke box darts. Now, for any of you who found that you've had taken delivery of a locomotive like I did, my first Star class, you find the dart's been snapped off and it's in the bottom of the box. Then you've got two options. You either try and glue it back on again, which you could do, and it's fiddly. I've done it before. Or you could send it back. Okay, and sometimes it makes me wonder if some of these decals are possibly a bit too fragile nowadays. But this one, like I say, nothing's fallen off. The brake handles on the tender and the water scoop is still there. The water scoop handles. The handle for the reversing handle is still there in the cab. That's one thing which Oxford Rail did. Theirs was painted red, so you can see it a lot better. On this one it's not, but I don't think the Oxford Rail black version was lined. Whereas this one, it's got a lovely red lining on it. And this is just my opinion, but what's going around now, I mean, compared to the Oxford Rail, which was lovely, don't get it wrong, it was a lovely model, you're looking at something which is a little bit more durable, something you can use, something you can play with, so something you're not worried about getting out of the box, like something happening to it. And I think there's the advantages sometimes of these older locomotives. Now what we're going to do is we're going to leave it at that now for this evening. I mean, normally my videos run on a little bit longer than this. And I think what we'll try and do is we'll try and do an uncoupling. And we can have a closer look at this locomotive. So let's get around closer to me. And what I'm hoping to do is to just uncouple it from the actual train without uncoupling the whole thing. So we'll see if we can do that now. I wish I could find my manual uncoupler. It would make life a lot easier for me. There we go. So I put it somewhere safe. What I've done with it, I just do not know. And, no, it's quite well coupled together. I think I'll have to there we go, now we're uncoupled. Okay, so we'll just re-rail that wagon. We're going to have a closer look at our Hornby. And you can see one of my new purchases as well. And it's not a locomotive, oh no, hey. It's something you may have seen in one of my little brief videos I made. And we're looking at her now. Let's zoom in a little bit, shall we? We're on a tripod, so it's hard to see, but you can see the benefits of one of these. There we are, so we're zoomed right in now. I think we've got pretty good focus on it. This is a Lazy Susan, for those who haven't seen one before. They're used really in the food, with food. What you do is you put a cake on this, possibly for decoration. But then what's wrong with using it for a locomotive decoration? Now we can have a proper 360 view of this without worrying too much about knocking the locomotive around too much. Now you can see it's got, it appears to have metal buffers. Yeah, that's quite a nice feature. I don't think they're sprung. No, they're not. But then a lot of the models of that time didn't have that. It's got a little hook in the middle with the buffer beam there, and it's got the vacuum pipe as well. Let's say it's got the molded on darts, which you might not be able to see because obviously it's black and that tends to blend in a little bit with everything. But let's see if we can get in on there a little bit. Yeah, I think you just might see it there. And then we'll turn around, give a nice broadside view. And you can see there it's got the red lining on it. Quite nice really, I think. Yeah. I'm quite liking this. Yes, I think at least in the BR guys, the copper chimney was actually painted over black. And so was on this one, so was the safety valve cover. You've still got nice brass whistles on top of there, look. On top of the cap. The running number there. And they've also put the route availability on there, which is A. Now, I should imagine this is for sort of more lightly laid tracks these were used. They had a very, very long career actually. Very, very long career. I mean they were built before 1900s, late 1800s, and then they went right the way through. They were used in through World War One, and they were used by the army, by the British Expeditionary Force in France. They took quite a lot of locomotives over there. Some of them even ended up being used by the Ottoman railways, Turkish railways, and then they went on into World War Two. They were going to be retired, but I mean on a couple of occasions they were actually all dragged out of retirement and put back into service again. They were requisitioned by the War Department, which proves what a useful locomotive these really are. These Dean Goods. Okay. You can see that moving along there. You've got the let's say the number there. So the lovely red detailing as well on the splashers, and I say the lovely line on the boiler. The nice separately fitted handrail. Clearly see there. You've got the handles there for the on the tender. That would be possibly for the for brake and to operate the water scoop. In the cab you probably can't see it very well, but there is a reversing lever in there, the same as on the Oxford Rail one. And the cab is black as you can see. There's no detailing in there. Well, there's detailing in there, but it's not been painted. Okay, we go on to the back of the tender here. So we're mainly going from above here. Try to get some different camera angles like we can, but then we're back onto the back buffer again. Not sprung, there's buffers there. And you've also got the vacuum pipe again. Turning around to the other side, again you can see our BR early crest. Lovely lining on the tender as well. You've got the white and red lining, that's really nice, isn't it? Yep. Got the handrails there on the back of the cablet, and handrails on the back of the tender. We see them now. So am I pleased with this model? Yes, definitely. Very, very happy. Okay, so we shall recap by saying what the model will be looking for. If you want to find one. R2210. And mine was made on the 13th of February 2001. Okay. Now, we'll obviously try to get other camera angles with this Lazy Susan. But it's the first time I've actually used it with a locomotive on it for an actual review. Okay. And I think it's quite a nice little purchase to have. Now, Stuart from the St Mary Church Model Railway, he was the person who channel I saw this on. and his channel is very worth watching. Okay, his channel is worth looking at. Now I should bid you farewell tonight. I'm going to have another little running session in a minute, all by myself. Okay. Now, if you like what you see, press like, and then subscribe if you want to see more videos. And thank you very, very much for your interest, and I shall bid you farewell. Thank you very much, and goodbye.